Rolling.
Go
Right,
out,
on
tea.
Monday. Right.
Right.
Okay. Coffee. Okay.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Delboy's Garage. This is Q&A number 3. Episode 3? Episode 3 already.
We've got tea. And special cakes.
Special cake.
Special cake for you,
Special
Dave.
cake.
Special
They're
people.
trifle cakes.
They're special needs cakes.
They've got sponge and
Do you like cake? I hope you like cake too.
jam,
We're just having some cake.
custard, and hundreds of thousands.
Oh, super.
They're trifle cakes.
Although hundreds and thousands is a trade descriptions issue, isn't it? Because there's only several dozen there.
Take it back.
Well,
Right then.
take it back in a minute.
Yeah. How have you been? Meanwhile, here's some music. That lift music, didn't you? Like Crossroads. Well, I'll come back to that
This
in a
is why
minute.
the videos are so long.
Okay, well, I hope you've had a good week. This is episode 3 of Q&A. We've had to do this, as we said last week, because we've had 100 questions from you, which is fantastic, isn't it? Amazing.
Banging.
Minging. So what we're going to do today is get hold of the next 25 or so questions and answer them in the right detail. Last reason for this really is when we did it on episode 1 about a month ago, we did miss off probably 4 or 5 people just because we were in such a mess and we went up to an hour and a half. The last video, as you saw, 40 odd minutes. It's the right kind of time span, makes it so watchable, so that's what we're up to. So before we waffle on even longer, what's the waffle tool today, Pen? You've got it up there behind you with the brown handle. Today we've gone beyond...
You complained about my girly...
Yeah, the purple paperweight wasn't really enough of a deterrent, so today we've reported to the ball beam hammer.
toffee hammer.
Right then. In the kneecap, yeah. You'll get it in the kneecap, so the table might go
Like
for
a spill
anyone.
of tea.
Right.
Right, what's the first question?
Let's
Without
go.
further ado,
Let's go. Mr. Toasted Blue
Mr. Toasted Blue.
Great name.
Great
says,
name, great name.
quick shifters, do they damage the gearbox? Amongst my riding group, I have the slowest bike, so I'm manually quick shifting just
I
to
have
give
that
me a
problem
chance.
too.
I've been doing it for over a year without any obvious adverse effect. But I'm planning to buy a new bike in a month or so, and I'm thinking about getting a proper QS fitted from new. Do you think it's worth the £200 plus to guarantee not missing a gear
No.
when quick shifting?
No. Absolutely not, and I think that's a complete waste of time, my friend. A quick shifter is something that you use on the drag strip to gain you 1/10 of a second on your ET. Honestly, it's not something you need for a bike unless you got it, bud. You save that bit of the beard for later. It's one of those things you use on a drag strip, like I said. You would only use it on a road bike if you were in some way incapacitated and you couldn't change gear. We have disabled bikers amongst the people we know and stuff, and that can be the case. So for a regular able-bodied rider for road use, no, absolutely no reason for a quick shifter. Forget about it. Learn to ride a little bit more smoothly and you'll keep up with your mates, and if your mates are leaving you behind, perhaps you need some new ones. What do you say?
Exactly that.
They're not your mates if they leave off. If they ride up the road and they leave you and let you get behind, then they're not really your mates, are they? So next one, okay.
Next one is Paul Mitchell.
Paul, what up, Paul?
Paul would like to know, he's interested in a Bonnie SC or a Sportster, one or the other. Having never ridden a bike with ABS, is it worth the extra expense at all? Because I know the Sportsters now come with optional ABS, don't they?
No. Good job.
Well, I have mixed opinions on ABS.
Oh, they're nice, aren't they?
They are nice, aren't they? They're really. You'll have to bear with us a moment, Paul, because these are
This
really
may
nice.
take some time.
Yeah. No, I have mixed opinions on ABS. It's a great safety aid if you are riding in a straight line on what would normally be a good adhesive surface in less than good conditions, like the rain and so on and so forth. It's a great safety aid, but 99% of the time, even on a bike with ABS, you shouldn't be activating it. Your braking shouldn't be such that you're activating it. It does run the danger of people seeing it as the great panacea, and it's going to cure all your ills. Panacea. You take it for a headache.
Is that like
There's
a
a dessert
panacea?
in it.
Is that it's like a pan of scouse? Is that like a pan of scouse? I don't know, I've heard that before.
All right. It's seen as the
Dessert.
universal cure for all ills.
You mean panna cotta?
Panacado.
Dave's a bit posher than us, as you can see. Can't get common mates for if you're trying.
ABS won't fix your ability to ride a bike.
No, actually there's a point there I want to raise. I had a back and forth comments thing with Mr. Roadcraft Nottingham, I think Russell his name is, who's a top level bike instructor, and I think he made a very good comment ABS is okay as long as you don't forget the skills you need to ride the bike in the first place. It's a bit like learning to run before you can walk, you know. So yeah, I think ABS is good, but it's certainly, in terms of the question, it certainly isn't worth paying 200 quid extra because you shouldn't be needing it.
Yeah, and don't ride your bike like you're riding a bike that's got ABS.
Yeah.
You know, if you're relying on it to do the braking for you, you're in for a nasty
false
shock.
sense of security.
You're in for a nasty shock.
So there you go, Q&Rs. I'm just going to check that camera. Stay where you are. That's it. We get a bit more of Mr. Dyson in these days, you see. It takes a little bit more, you know.
It's all the cake. I take up more camera.
They don't like to say or anything like, you know.
Right, Sam Holman says, what's your favourite
What up,
sounding
Sam?
bike? Favourite sounding bike?
Mm.
And what's your favourite exhaust make?
Mm.
Well, the sounding style, I mean, I'm a big fan of V-twins. I love big capacity V-twins. That burble is fantastic. Also, I thought, until recently, I came across a clip on YouTube of a CBX, which, for those that are under the age of about 35, was a parallel...
Yes, then.
Yeah, that's it. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Don't know what you're on about.
was a balls out parallel 6, just because they could, and
engine like a block of flats,
and it is. They sound on full chat. They sound like a Formula One racing car, and it's just
they do. They do.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I don't know.
Well, going to a 6-cylinder for me, I think any of the big 6-cylinder motors are awesome, and also to that end, 3-cylinder motors as well.
Yeah.
Same principle.
Yeah.
I do love the sound of a Triumph triple. I just think there's that drone to it that's absolutely lovely. It's got a little bit of reminiscence of the Merlin aircraft. It's that 6/12 cylinder odd firing order. I do love that.
Yeah, because you cannot get an even firing order with 3 cylinders.
No, but I think day-to-day V-twin, just a Harley V-twin, it's just a lovely sound, and it's the sort of sound your nan likes, you know?
Yeah.
I would say a Sportster with Vance and Hines.
Where did you hear that before then? Yeah, I wonder.
What, like that one over there?
Yeah, a bit like that one. As luck would have it, this one, it's what I made earlier,
isn't it? You're the one I prepared earlier. Yeah.
Move yourself around a bit then, so people see you.
Sam Sage says, I'm nearly 16 and about to buy my first bike, moped.
Top man.
What should I look at?
To be nearly 16 again. Can you imagine it? The things you could do again. The things I wouldn't do again.
Most of them.
Most of them, actually. All right, mate, well done.
What should I look out for to ensure he doesn't buy a bike that will break on me within the first couple of months of owning it?
Okay. Serious question, that, isn't it?
It is a serious question.
For me, I would say, if you're buying a bike with your money, hey, it depends on how much you've got, doesn't it?
It does depend on budget.
Steer clear of anything Chinese unless it's brand new.
You've just got a load of dislikes there.
Yeah, I know. But I'm serious now. If you buy second-hand... No, I'm very serious now. A second-hand Chinese bike can be a world of problems. They really aren't built to last. A new Chinese bike is okay. You get a bit of backup from the dealer, and that's fine, but consider them disposable because they will end up being disposed of. A second-hand Jap bike's fine. It depends on your ability to fix it up, doesn't it? And look after it. A trusted friend who's going to stand by you, or if you've got somebody you know in your family who's bought a few bikes and cars, take them along with you to look at the vehicle. You know, try not to get yourself in stuck, and steer clear of finance. I would say at 16.
At 16.
And I saw this time and again in my previous career, when 16-year-olds had come in and they want to sign a book for £99 down and £99 a month for a bike worth about £99 the following day. And always we put loan protection in place. And in one particular issue, a young man did write his bike off. He didn't hurt himself. His bike was a bit totaled, and his grandmother had stood the finance. We put loan protection in place. Now everybody scams loan protection and says that loan protection policies are a rip-off. Well, in this instance, it absolutely was not, because the bike was 2,800 quid. It was an RS125 Aprilia, and it was totaled. The insurance company offered £1,500. That's it. The finance company to settle the loan wanted £2,800 because he hadn't made any payments. He smashed it up in a week. So there was a deficit between what they owed on the bike and what the bike was going to be paid out for of something like £1,300, and the loan protection company stepped in, paid it off. The couple, the family, walked away. So if you're going to take loan protection out, if you're going to take a loan out, then make sure that you're not borrowing the loan value of the bike. Use it as a top up and use your money as the main bulk. But as far as the bike's concerned, if you're really worried, AA check, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
RAC.
it does depend on your budget, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if your budget will stand it, if you if you buy from a dealer, there are many safeguards in place. Also, you're about to turn 16 rather than 17, so I'm guessing you're only going to keep this bike for a year.
That's it.
So,
Why something sellable?
have a look on eBay and have a look at the kind of resale values of stuff. So if you're paying £1,200 for something now and you think you can realistically get £1,000 for it in 12 months, you know that kind of thing. There is no short answer.
No,
but,
really.
But find someone that does know. As you say, reliable mate or dealer or whatever.
You stopped then, didn't you?
Yeah, lovely, right? I did.
Reaching for the willow.
Cell 13 says, what do you wear in the winter to keep warm when you're riding?
Oh, when you're riding.
Right,
when you're riding. Oh, okay.
Looks like
Riding.
Nanook of the North.
Yeah, all of it. Just everything.
One of everything.
One of everything.
Yeah.
What do you wear? Well, I like my Becca Wear Cool Wear thing. Product placement.
But, right, okay. Product placement.
Becca Cool Wear suit.
Promise not to laugh. I've still got my Daymark thermals.
Oh,
in 1982. They're still going.
I remember the Jasper Carrot sketch on Damart.
They're a bit threadbare and there's a few holes here and there. But
ballroom, isn't it? It's that ballroom you need, isn't it?
What, like cheap hotels? They haven't got a ballroom.
They haven't got ballrooms either, have they? No.
But layers is the answer.
That's it.
I mean, I don't wear any particularly expensive thermally type kit.
No.
I wear long sleeve t-shirts, and when it's really cold, I wear 2 of them.
That's it. I think you can actually get yourself some good gear in army surplus shops. Only recently, Pen and I were looking round Frontline. Frontline. That's not the stuff you squirt on the dog. That's the well-known surplus store in Dorset. It's Chain, or Silverman's is another one. And they had a combat DPM, which is disruptive pattern material, the army combat stuff, camouflage.
Because car drivers can't see you anyway.
Car drivers won't see you even if you're in high vis with a light on your head. The point being, this stuff was Gore-Tex breathable, robust army kit, and it was £30 for a jacket, and that was kind of an over jacket. You wear a fleece under that, good to go. So you can really make them in on the rules what you just said, which is layers with air between them. No tight clothing.
No.
You want no spandex at the winter time.
You don't want one big, thick, padded something or other. You want layers. So I personally like long sleeve t-shirts.
Yeah, leather jacket, waterproof over that. Jobs are good.
It is a personal thing.
And it's also a budget thing, isn't it?
Yeah, budget.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You got enough money, buy a rucker suit. But
yeah, I mean, I'm quite fortunate. I don't really feel the cold. So by the time I've got my jacket on and maybe a cheap sort of waterproof over the top of that to keep the wind out, I'm all good. But the same principles apply. Layers.
Yeah, layers.
The Missenden Flyer says.
Missenden Flyer. Sounds like a train, doesn't it?
He's the one that sounds like sorry about this, Missenden Flyer. But you do sound like what's his name? Parrish. Barry Sheen. Steve
Parrish.
Barry Sheen's what name?
What, on the videos?
I've watched a few of your videos and you sound like Steve Parrish, so maybe you really are.
Maybe he really is Steve Parrish.
You really are
he
Steve
could be
Parrish.
Steve. So are you Steve Parrish?
Are you Steve Parrish?
You can answer that for us.
If you are, could you send me your autograph?
Yeah, can you send us 3?
Well, it would be a bit worrying if he was.
2 and a photograph.
It would be worrying if he was, because he says here, I'm a technical numpty.
You are Steve Parrish!
You are Steve Parrish! Definitely Steve Parrish! Now we're in the shit.
That was the question. I'm a technical numpty.
Right, definitely Steve Parrish.
That's what he said, not me.
Right.
But fancy a fiddle with my bikes.
Stop it. Go.
So what are the top 5 tools I must have in my man cave?
Well, you need a tool in
Delboy's
your
garage, he's a tool.
Yes, there's one here. I don't know, top 5 tools.
That's very difficult.
Well, that depends on the top 5 jobs, if that's not a stupid question.
Yeah.
You're going to adjust your chain, aren't you?
Yes.
So you want the gear to do that, so you want right size socket for...
Check your tyre
wheel
pressures.
nuts.
So
I'd go tyre pressure gauge. Tyre pressure gauge and a foot pump.
Yeah.
If you invest in a foot pump from the car accessory store, and one of them tyre pressure gauges £3 from the DIY store, you can keep your tyre pressures checked every day, and you haven't got to rely on petrol stations, which is the bad way to do it anyway, because they're not accurate. By the time you get there, your tyres are hot, so they're inaccurately measured. They should be measured cold.
And they have lots of condensation in garage compressors. Lots of condensation.
Tin of chain lube.
Yeah.
A bucket and sponge.
But as far as tools go, say
well, you should have a toolkit with your bike.
Yeah. It's a tool set, isn't it?
You want sufficient tools to adjust your chain, change your light bulb, and get access to your battery. That's where you're going to start, isn't it?
Just coming back down to you. One of them toolkits in your bike is actually more useful than you think.
Yeah.
They do contain all the sizes you need. So if you have one of them, then they're a good start. Honestly, get one of them if you don't have one. And I know this is another one of these things that I find desperately sad. Is bikes don't come with them anymore.
No, they don't.
You know, it's an option on some bikes, which I find bloody downright offensive. And perhaps it's a leap of faith with others that bikes don't break down like they used to. But a little basic bike toolkit that you can buy, or go to one of your tool accessory shops, isn't it? Like Machine Mart or something,
Yeah.
or even if you're in America, wherever it might be, somewhere like Craigslist or whatever, get yourself a tool set, which is the little toolbox with a basic, comprehensive bit of everything in it. What do you mean? Yeah? Hope that helps, mate.
Right, Alex Carpenter says he's got a sticky ignition. Why does it freeze? Can I use 3-in-1?
Oh,
Or
the key.
WD-40 or PTFE? What's the best fits?
Ooh, that's difficult. PTFE's dry. I like that thought, actually.
Yeah.
PTFE being dry, if yours is the dry PTFE, not to be confused with GT85, that's wet, then dry PTFE is a good thing because there's no liquid to it, so it doesn't do it. But a sticky ignition means a worn ignition. So look at your keys. Have a little look into getting your key recut. If you get yourself a fresh key cut, often that can smooth it up a bit because the key wears, then the lock wears, and one wears the other, and it just goes downhill from there. But I go with WD-40, mate.
Yeah, me, because I am a bit anally retentive, I do periodically wipe the keys over with a bit of 3-in-1 oil.
Yeah.
Just not drown them in it, just literally oily rag, just wipe them.
Yeah, definitely. It's just something rather than nothing, because once water gets in, it freezes, expands, and then it starts to twist things around inside, because the power of freezing water is absolutely indescribable.
Yeah.
It's not even measured in metric tons. When water freezes, it pushes rocks apart, so it truly is stupidly powerful. So once it gets full of water and then it freezes, you will do damage. So something in there that's oily that will stop the water getting in is good, and also it'll stop it corroding, won't it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Tom Hill says, what bike do you see yourself on in 10 years' time?
I have absolutely no idea because I don't
Try.
suspect it's some hit the market yet.
Really?
Because in 10 years' time,
Yeah, that's
things
right.
will have moved on.
That's gonna be the same.
I, as a
Fair
preference, personally, ride what I class as roadsters. That's what a lot
What
of
were
people.
you riding 10 years ago?
What was I riding 10 years ago? Oh,
I was
crikey.
on a Harley.
Uh,
I was always on a Harley.
I was on.
Oh God, 2004? I had
2000.
that baby blade.
The point, innit? You had a little 400 Fireblade.
I had a Honda VT 500
There you go.
Yeah.
10 years ago,
Yeah.
and a BSA Victor.
So I think 10 years from now, you won't be far away from where you are. Personally, I intend to be on the Triumph still. I bought it new, paid the VAT, paid over £7 for the bike because I want an incentive not to sell it. Had I got that cheap deal on eBay for £4, then within 18 months I'd be looking to move it on at a profit and get something else, which I wanted to discourage myself from. And the loss, because I'm a little bit tight-fisted, I don't like losing money. I bought it new because then I will be inspired to keep it. So I hope to still be on the Triumph Scrambler and maybe possibly even still the Bandit, but it'll probably have a diesel van engine in it by then, or something else more ridiculous.
Punto engine.
As long as I'm on a bike in 10 years is all that's important to me.
Yes.
As long as I'm still on a bike, I don't really care
Doesn't
what it
matter
is.
what you ride, it matters that you do ride.
What about you,
Leads me
Pip?
on to-
What about
me?
10 years from now.
Oh, I don't know. Difficult. The girly thing is an issue. The height. So it'll either be a Sportster or a Bonneville. I would have thought.
Or whatever's around as equivalent sort of size. I think hopefully what would be nice, final point on this, what would be nice to see in the next 10 years would be a development in bike design where more people of shorter leg length are welcomed into biking by means of there being more available bikes for them to choose from. And this brings it back to our friend Jeff, who's got sort of 5'6" and he finds it such a limited choice, and I really feel for anybody in that position. So I hope if there's more bikes on the road, if the manufacturers wake up and stop making bikes with 34-inch seat heights and start getting them back down to 26, 27 inches as they should be for human beings, then I think all of us will still be biking on something realistic, won't we?
Yep. And that leads me on to a Freumot's question.
Freumot's.
What injuries have you sustained on riding a bike?
Oh, we ain't got long
if
enough.
any?
We haven't got, it's only a 40-minute video.
And have they affected you?
Do you want to hang on a minute? Do you want to,
I have to be quite drunk to show most of my scars.
it's not scars, it's just generally.
You know what?
I've got a few
We're
bits
really lucky.
You have.
Never hurt myself.
Touch the hickory. Never hurt yourself. No. Well,
Because
you
when you
haven't
go
fell
out,
off then.
you've got to just think, I've got to stay upright.
Yeah, staying upright.
of. Yeah.
So stay
What
upright.
injuries?
Right.
What injuries? I cracked pelvis some years ago, which wasn't seriously bad, but it's hard to walk for a day or three.
It smarts a bit.
It smarts a bit, yeah. It focuses your attention. I think bumps and scuffs other than that, really.
Yeah, I mean,
skin abrasions, lack of wearing anything substantial in the past. Other than that, nothing serious.
Yeah, I've only ever had 2 that put me in hospital, and both of those were released on the same day. So
yeah, pretty lucky, really.
Not a nice subject to talk about.
The biggest, no, seriously though, the biggest point, touch wood.
Yeah.
The biggest point for me is the biggest injury I've suffered is the loss of the friends. And this may sound a bit profound, but we've lost friends in our biking lives, and you have probably too. And those are the biggest scars that I carry because I remember those special people every day that I ride. So the biggest scars are the internal ones from the friends that you lose, I think. In more than just your riding, you know, in life in general.
That's right. We'll change the mood now.
Change the mood, fun one.
Oh, more cake then.
More cake then. Cake break. Would you like a cake? Okay. These are trifle cakes.
Trifle
Penny
cakes.
found them in. Where did you find
They're a
them?
mere trifle.
They're a mere
Mr. Kipling. Sorry,
Mr.
I shouldn't add.
Oh, more product placement.
More product placement.
Other cake.
We'll get some free ones.
Other cakes are available.
Send us some free cakes, Mr. Kipling.
Yeah, what they are is a pastry cup, and in them is a trifle, which we think's rather great, don't we? It's got jam. As you can see, Mr. Dyson does. He's speechless with admiration for Mr. Kipling's
They've got
latest
custard
confection.
and sponge and
Custard, sponge, jam,
and hundreds and thousands.
and well, 20s and 30s.
Right,
Couple of
anyway.
dozen.
Couple of dozen.
Couple of
This
dozen
brings
most.
me nicely. Matthew Perkins, what cleaning sprays apart from
Love
muck
your
off?
work, Matthew. It's brilliant.
What cleaning sprays apart from muck up do you like? What's best for cleaning electricals? And for you, cake or death?
Hang on.
We're both realise that it's probably
I've still got a pulse.
so. It's probably cake.
It's probably cake.
Cleaning sprays, WD-40, most universal. There are others, aren't there? But to me, WD-40 cleans dirt, corrosion, crap. You can use WD-40 in wire wool to clean rust off, can't you? You know, off of old metal. So I like WD-40 as the best cleaner because
I
it's
use
the
it
most
as deodorant as well.
deodorant. That explains so much.
Moving swiftly along.
Moving swiftly along.
Adam Hards, he asked,
Does he?
I don't know what's happened today. Clutchless gear changing, do you or don't you? Good thing or bad thing, where the gearbox is concerned?
Right. Short shifting.
Right, I do, but not from first to second.
No.
And on the SV, not into top because it takes quite a bootful to get into top on the SV.
Right. I would.
But I don't on the way down.
Short shifting is what you call it. Bill. All motorcycles these days pretty much have constant mesh gearbox. That means that the row of cogs on the shaft in your gearbox, or synchros for their Sunday name, is you got a cut problem there.
It's got
It must have a hole in the bottom.
Oh, it must have. Or is it the hole in your face that caused that?
Sorry, carry on, I'm interrupting.
These cogs, these synchros, they are smaller, one after the other, as you go up the gears. So the top gear is the smallest one and blah blah blah, first gear is the largest. Now if you take them out the gearbox and you have a look at them, first gear is a big fat massive one, and then second gear is quite a big... You're donating tea.
You're not going to get to answer this question.
I'm
are you?
not, am I? It's going to take a while, my friend, so sit yourself down. So the step from first to second is quite a jump off. So a short shift from first to second would be quite a bump, but from second, third, fourth and sometimes into fifth or sixth, it's fine because you've got a small step down, and all you're doing is you're pushing, you're unloading the gearbox by rolling the throttle forward, takes all the weight off the gears and then just flicking it. You're not disengaging the gears completely, you're not actually moving the two shafts apart and then disengaging the drive, you're actually allowing them to just step off one and drop down onto the other, and they should mesh in as they go. Now, it's quite safe if you know how to do it, and it's like all
It
these things.
is.
If you're clumsy arse with it, you're going to cause it crunch bang, but listen to a race bike on the track. Also, the other side of it is short shifters, coming back to a question earlier. On a drag strip, if you listen to a short shifter, the way it works is you just have a gas ram or an air ram fixed down on the bike, which punches the gear lever hard, and at the same moment an electronic device cuts the ignition, but you keep the throttle pinned wide open. You just press the button, and that's perfectly safe as long as it's all set up correctly. So that's the answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
As long as it's safe, short shifting is absolutely fine. You can even short shift down. It's quite
I must
knack.
admit I don't, but
I've
you
done
can.
it.
But you can.
An old gearbox that's where everything inside the gearbox is all rounded off and it's all lovely and warm, then you can do it. New gearboxes are quite notchy, and that goes the same for short shift, isn't it? Brand new bike, you might find it a bit clunky, and it depends as well. I wouldn't say you could do it on a BMW, could you?
No, well, as I say, on the SV1000, although I do it from second to fifth,
Yeah.
fifth into sixth, takes such a bootful.
Yeah.
I just don't.
You can't do it on GSs and things like that.
No.
All the boxer BMWs, they don't like it because they have a single plate clutch like a car, and it just doesn't work. They're not the same kind of gearbox. But standard 4-cylinder Jack bike, go for it, mate. It's great fun.
Right, next question.
Next
Matteo Centurioni. Oh, Matteo, I've probably said that completely wrong. Centurioni. Matteo.
Matteo Centurioni. See, I know. Not just as thick as I look. Hey.
Right, he's got 48. Sports are 48.
Oh,
The indicators are mounted on the upper yoke, and I want them to go on the lower one, like Penny's Beauty. I haven't touched them yet because I'm a bit reluctant to release the bolts that hold the yokes and therefore the forks. Would it be okay if I do it by leaving one bolt untightened at the time? And would I need to get the front wheel off the ground?
No, that's easy, isn't it? All you got to do is do one bolt at a time, like you said. Take one bolt off, take the indicator off, put the bolt back in, torque it up. Then move down, take the other bolt off, put the indicator on, and torque it up. Job done. You're not releasing anything because you've got two bolts holding it. As long as one of them is in place, that's fine. And as for getting the bike off the ground, well, don't really matter as long as it's done up tight enough.
Yeah, I mean, for the bike just sat there static, you don't need to.
No, it should be fine. You'll be lucky with that. Good.
Right, next question. B. Barton. He's got a ZZR 1400 D9.
Oh, cool. Rocket ship.
How would I change the spark plugs? They have stick coils to each plug and the access is tight. Would I be better off going to a dealer and having the shims done at the same time? I'm mechanically reasonable, but this might be beyond me.
Okay, the question that comes to my mind is why are you changing the spark plugs? Think about it. A modern motorcycle, these spark plugs should last.
They're not like they used to be, where you were taking them out every 1,000 miles and cleaning them.
I seem to remember on your Harley, the first recommendation in the book to change the spark plugs in service schedule is 25,000 miles, and that's on a Harley that thumps like a tractor. Whereas your bike, my friend, I can't imagine why you'd need to change the plugs unless it's their time to be changed. And if it is, then I'd agree with you. Yeah, take it along, get the shims done at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I believe there's shim under bucket on them.
I think most of that series of engine are shim.
I don't even go there. I can't do it. I've never done it.
Well, it's a camshaft out job.
It's major engine work. It's like all these questions, isn't it? This brings us back to a couple of the questions we had to remove. We had this issue where when we got all these 100 questions in back at last week's video, we've had to take a few out. The ones that go along with belt drive or shaft drive, discuss. We just can't do it, and it's like a lot of these things. We can't go on too long about one thing. So if you, just to short circuit that, and I think you'd agree with this, if you have to ask how to do it, the best advice is take it to someone who knows, because it's your bike, isn't it, mate? It's a 1400 ZZR. Really? It's a 200 mile an hour motorcycle, and it costs what? 11, 12 grand? I don't know how much they are. They're loads of money. Are you really that keen to go and monkey boy it yourself if you're not sure? By all means, talk to mechanics if you can show you how to do it, but I would say no. It was
I mean, if you've got a decent dealership or service place that you've built up a decent rapport with, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to let you, look over their shoulder while they do a particular item.
Yeah.
So ask the question. If you really want to know, ask the mechanic.
That's the other. Yeah, I mean that's what they're trying to do now. But ultimately, I'd say this is why we run simple bikes like the Triumph and the Bandit and the Harley, because you can work on them. Things like ZZR 1400s, and this is one of the other motivations I got rid of the Hayabusa, is because there's so little that I can do on it with confidence that I'm not going to have a problem, or I've got to look up and stuff. I don't want anything too technically advanced. So yeah, I'd leave it to the pros unless you're really comfortable doing it, mate.
Okay, next question. Have bike wheel vlog.
Cool, mate.
I've managed to snap off the nut of the bleed nipple on my ER5. The lower part is in the caliper, which is holding pressure. I've got some easy outs and a tap wrench. Do you have any clever suggestions?
Use the easy outs and a tap wrench to take it out. Sorry, is that condescending?
You've got the tools there.
No, I totally agree with that.
Well, fortunately, because it's a bleed nipple, even if you've snapped it off quite a long way down, you'll have a hole in it.
That's right.
So that's your starting point.
Yeah. If all else fails, drill it out.
Yeah. I mean that will allow you to put a bigger hole in it in the middle, because you've already got effectively a pilot hole.
Yeah.
Pop the easy out in, take it out. It shouldn't be that tight.
Right, piece of cake. Eat it up.
Right, next question. Bit of a fun one. Ninja Nelly. Ninja. You're an idiot.
Fellow idiot.
He's a fellow idiot. Yeah. Who would you most like to meet in the world, living or dead?
Oh.
That's a really hard one.
Oh. Must not say Genghis Khan. Must not say Genghis. Sorry, did I think that out loud again?
You're not going to like mine.
T.E. Lawrence.
T.
Who's he, yeah?
Lawrence.
Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, right. Asking for some bike repair tips.
Yeah. What do you know about bruffs and their braking system?
How do you know how to stay up a hitch?
Yeah. How to avoid push bikes.
I don't know, really. Most like to meet in the world. I'd probably like to meet my grandfather again.
Yeah,
Because
I
he was
think-
my major inspiration, and we lost him in 1986 to a very short and unannounced illness, if it were. He didn't suffer long, but he passed away. So 1986, he's been without us. He's been out of my life for that long. So I'd like to meet him again, most in the world, I think. And just to say, you know, show him what I've become. He'd probably be disappointed, but there you go. There you go.
Whose is yours?
Who's is yours? Yeah.
Who's mine?
He's a Carol Davidson.
With a job offer.
Yeah.
Here's my terms.
Here's the contract.
Here's the contract of employment.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. Right, Mark Coldrick. I've got a 2003 ZZR 1200
Cool.
with 45k on the clock. It's
No,
running
no.
a bit lumpy. Sounds like a twin.
Sounds like a ZZR.
Got MTC cans on it. Had the carbs rebalanced and still sounds odd. What's your
Lumpy.
thoughts on these beasties, and do you see many in your parts of the world?
Yeah, loads of them. Is that a D model I see, does he say?
Doesn't say.
Remember the year they changed over. Right, I would say that if it runs lumpy, the big ZZR motors, those big old ZX mills, they did run a bit lumpy, but it's how lumpy you mean. It could be worth looking at getting the carbs balanced, but if you're running cans, check you've got obviously the correct jetting. That's the issue, isn't it? Today's bikes are being fuel injection, it's not an issue. When you put race cans on a modern bike, the bike will rejet, it will refuel,
It
won't
will
it?
sort itself out.
Yeah,
pretty
especially
much,
the Triumph.
within reason.
Yeah, that's what we have lambda sensors for, and air injection. It gives you an area of self-reliance. But back on old carburetted engines, they really are thick as two planks. They don't know what to do unless you tell them. So I would say, if you fitted the cans, have a talk to whoever it is local to you and see what they might charge to stick it on a dyno and get it all set up. Now, before you go doing that, obviously this is the biggest piece of advice I've ever had given to me, way back by an absolute, you know, engine tuning god, but goes by the name of Ray Debon. And Debon Performance are only literally up in Ringwood. They're only 20 miles away from us. And Ray said many years ago, don't put anything on a dyno to tune it unless it's been fully serviced, fully set up and had the shims done. So the first thing I would suggest is get yourself a full service, first of all. Oil, filters, plugs, get the shims checked or check them yourself if you know how, and make sure that engine is in the finest fettle. Return everything to standard spec first. Then we've done that, clean brand new air filter, stick some fresh petrol in it, take it to a dyno, and I'm sure that if they stuck it on a rolling road, set up with a Dynajet kit, that thing would run like a watch, because it is a superb motorcycle that should run for 100,000 miles. That ain't even run in yet at 45, they're lovely, aren't they?
They are great.
Big sledgehammer of an engine.
Well, a
ZX
friend of
mill.
mine bought the 1100 version in 1990, whatever it was,
That was it.
and he's never owned another bike since. He loves it so much, he still runs it to this day.
Yeah.
I
They just,
I don't know how many thousand miles there are on
Yeah.
it, but it's many.
I mean, the only other thing I found is years ago I had a GPZ 1100, which is the air-cooled version of yours, and that suffered quite a lot. The fuel injection was playing up because it had one of the bores was down on compression. So if you've got a compression tester, it doesn't hurt to do a compression test with 45,000 miles on, but that will be something they do on your rolling road. They'll do a leak down test to make sure the engine's in wear and tear fine fettle. But other than that, full service, get it set up, that's it.
Okay, next question. Late Rider 4 says, what's your most crazy journey you had to make on your motorcycle? It can be funny or scary.
Ooh.
Most,
Yours has got to be coming back from France.
it was.
Yeah.
Because the numpties forgot to change
We
the
had
watches.
we went a very good friend of mine, Jerry, and I, and his son Mikey, who was about 9 years old at the time. We all went to, with three of us, we went to Avranches in northern France for a day trip. The local newspaper ran a ticket, £5 to go to France and back. And it's normally about 250, so we thought we'd go. We had a day off. We set off and we worked our way all down the D650 road to Avranches, which is a lovely town with cafes in the street. We sat in the street drinking cheap beer and eating crepes and talking bollocks for about 4 hours, and then Jerry said, what time is it? And I looked at my watch, it was 5 p.m. and he said, what time's the ferry? I said, oh, we've got till 7 p.m. He said, did you change your watch? Because Euro time was an hour forward. And it turned out we hadn't, so we had 1 hour to do 110 miles, and we set off with a plum.
What a great description.
Oh, what? And I'll tell you what, I was on an XJR 1300 and Jerry was on a GSXR 11 Street Fighter, and little Mikey, whose son was on the back of both of us, whichever made him feel the less sick doing 100. And we came up through the French roads back when France was Britain's racetrack and you could kind of get away with it. 120 mile an hour pretty much, flat out, and filled up once on the way. Went in a garage, you know the petrol stations you see in films where there's a bloke playing a banjo, down, 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 down. It was like that, and we went in, just filled up, and this little old French bloke, bonjour monsieur, parlez-vous anglais? He just grunted at us, so we just gave him loads of francs, because it was back in the days of francs before the euro, so we just pushed loads of francs at him. Combien? And we got on the bikes, drove up the road, fuck off. We got literally into Calais, into Cherbourg with about 15 minutes after the ferry should have left, but it was delayed. And we honestly, I think the ramp was going up as the front wheel went over it. God, because if we'd missed it, it would have been an overnight stay and a £250 bed for the night. Yeah. We just made it. The back tyre was flattened off. There was canvas in the middle. We had done 120 mile an hour for about an hour and a half. And my ears were bleeding, my back felt like someone had shot it. So that was, for me, that was awesome trip.
But I did get a nice bottle of Chanel.
We did, yeah. That's because she didn't know I'd gone out. It's only because I said I went out for a bottle of milk. What about yours, Rick?
I can't even begin to match that, so I'm not even going to try.
Oh,
but buy me a pint and I'll tell you several stories.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
You may need some time.
I can rattle on for hours.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
What era? He also asked what era of biking means the most to you and why.
Oh.
His was the 80s, early 90s.
Well, yeah, for me too, because I started riding in '81.
It depends when you start riding, doesn't
I
it?
think it's when I think it's got to be '81 when you could wear trainers, and a cut-off and jeans.
Yeah.
DMs,
yeah, and a cut-off denim jacket, and nobody whinged at you and called you a hooligan because you weren't wearing a high-vis. You know, the only person who wore one was the lollipop man at school.
Yeah.
You know, so I think they were the days before everyone was up their own arse about safety.
And that's probably the same for everybody. I mean, if you took your test in 1990 or 2000 or whatever, that's probably your defining era. I mean, for me, I passed my bike test in '82,
right.
And that was, that was that rite of passage, ditching the L plates. It sticks in your memory. It was a great time.
It does. What's next, Pete?
Dave Lightfoot says he's sorting out the wires on his 1990 DR350.
The wires.
Should he get a second-hand loom or should he replace individual wires?
Ooh, six of one, half a dozen of the other.
The problem there is if you buy a second-hand loom, it may have just as many problems as yours.
You don't know its problems.
If you were saying buy a new one, then obviously very easy, but that's silly money. The way to go is take the cheapest option, start repairing the one you've got, see how you get on. If it gets past worth it, then look for a second-hand one. So, do the cheapest first, like all these things.
Aaron Johnson, next question.
Well,
he's got an N-Reg Mark 1 Bandit 600N,
cool.
13,000 miles on the clock. Why is he getting the clunking, banging noise second into third, but not always? He knows to expect it from first gear because he watched your video on it. Is it anything to worry about?
Check your chain tension for a kick-off.
Exactly that, yeah. Chain tension, mate, and lubrication. All gear changing on all bikes, period, that have a chain, that is, will be clunkier and more notchy if the chain is loose. And the reason for that is that when the gear changes, the slack in the chain allows the front sprocket to twitch or to bang, and that bump actually transfers through to the bike. If the chain is correctly tensioned, then that is taken up and it's far less apparent. So yeah, check and adjust and lube.
That's your first port of call.
Yeah, and if it's still doing it after that, come back to me on a private mail and we'll look a bit deeper into it for you, mate.
Cool. Blue Onion. Hi, Blue.
Blue Onion, cool.
Got a great band.
Yes. Love the band, mate. Love the music. Cool.
How does he remove swirl marks from clear coat? He's tried the OTC removers, but no luck.
Didn't we have this earlier?
Well, he kind of had
chrome,
someone wanted chrome.
Or chrome or polish.
Swirl marks again. Well, there's a product. That's this was in America. He's in the US, I think. Yeah. There's a product that Autoglym do, which I think is an American company, isn't it?
I think it is.
Yeah. There's an
Autoglym.
Yeah. We do. Yeah. We should get some stuff for this. They call it a glaze, showroom glaze. Now, any paint company, I think Maguire's probably actually do a better product, and it's the kind of stuff they sell, advertise for kind of supercars, isn't it? you see a Porsche or a Lamborghini being done in the pictures. And what it is, it's a glaze. It's a bit like that Johnson's Clear you used to put on your floor in the 70s. You know, it's a bit like a fine, thin liquid polish that just spreads over and covers the surface. And it doesn't cover anything up, but what it does, it fills all the little swirls in, doesn't it? Then you buff it up and it goes quite hard. So there's those products you can buy, but honestly, without buying fancy products, microfiber cloths, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love them. A good microfiber cloth, because remember, a lot of swirl marks are put into paintwork by the cloth, not anything else.
Yes.
You get a cotton cloth, the stuff that you wear, the jeans, you know, I've seen people using bed sheets for polishing cloths. You couldn't do anything worse, because that stuff is so hard, it's so abrasive. Fibre cloth or a fluffy cloth, or the best thing for polishing is a lamb's wool mitt, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Because they're so soft that they're softer than what you're polishing, so they won't make marks. Remember, the swirl marks are not in the paint, they're in the polish. So if it's getting bad, wipe the polish off with some methylated spirits, provided they've left you any, not
white spirit.
White spirit, yeah, anything like that. Don't use thinners, just anything that's nice and mild. Even washing up liquid will take all the polish off.
You just know you're going to get.
I'm going to get loads of shit for that, yeah. But ultimately, use something that's going to cut all that old polish off, add new polish, because sometimes there's too much on there, and that's where the swirls are coming from. Reduce the amount of polish. More is not best.
But whatever you do, don't use T-cut.
No, oh my god, no. T-cut is for polishing scratches out.
Don't use it.
No, that's nasty stuff. It's too abrasive. Go.
There you go. Mr. Edster.
Mr. Edster.
He says, how hard would it be to convert a modern bike to Magneto?
Magneto.
Magneto.
That's an ice cream.
That's an ice cream.
Just one Magneto.
I knew they were going to say that.
How hard is it? Well, how high is a Chinaman? It's not hard if you know how to do it. Harley Davidson's, it's almost a bolt-on part, because you can buy the casing that goes on the right-hand crankcase, which has the relevant hole in it to insert the Hunt Magneto. It's extremely easy. It's a nut and bolt swap, but to try and do it to a month, why would you do it anyway?
Why would you? I mean,
it's like putting a starting handle in your car.
Well, he seems to say that he had them on farm equipment when he was a kid.
Yeah, well, you would have done, because you want no battery, no
battery. Yeah.
I mean, if you're sticking it on a bike, you know, and you're thinking along the lines of no battery, you've got lights to worry about. You've got and as we discussed before,
that's a nasty stammer you've got in it.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. the output of a Magneto.
It's all this cake.
It's all that cake, yeah.
And
it's all those hundreds and thousands stuck in my teeth.
Your cup's got a hole in it again. How are you doing for time?
They could be because it's hot in here. It's
evaporating.
Right, last one coming up.
But I haven't finished.
I'll start it. You see why we're doing less questions per video now?
Oh, shut up now.
Shut up now. Come on.
Right. But no, just quickly. The output of a Magneto is directly proportional to the speed the engine is turning at, which makes engines with Magnetos a bugger to start.
Yeah. It's cool though.
Cool.
Well, the last word is here, extremely cool.
But ask yourself why you want to do it.
Yeah. And this is from Tom Dick.
Where's Harry?
I bet he gets asked that the whole time.
Yeah.
What up, Tom and Dick?
And this is one that we get asked a lot, actually.
Right.
He's got a Bandit 600 and a GSXR 600 SRAD.
Right.
Both at 32,000 miles, running fine.
Right.
But the valve clearances haven't been done.
Right.
Should he be concerned about this? Because he's got a friend who's got a 60,000 mile GS 1200 and he's never even heard of a valve adjustment.
Exactly that.
But we get asked this a lot about valve
and I've
clearances.
got the Bandit pile that I ride around has got 46,000 miles and the cam cover's never been off. It's taps a little bit, but there you go. I think this is the same question we've had so many times.
Yeah.
I've been asked to make a valve clearance video over and over again, but I've hesitated in doing it because as far as the Delboy's Garage thing goes, we have we're very honoured to have been given some credibility and people follow us and they follow what we load up and they take the advice as read. Now the problem is cleaning a caliper, adjusting a chain, changing some oil, all very easy and not that vital if you get it wrong, but if you make a big mistake doing the shims or doing the valve clearance in your bike, you can do major engine damage in the future. And it's not immediately apparent, is it?
Not always, no.
You do a valve clearance that's too tight, you leave that valve slightly open, you can score the cam up, which won't be apparent until another 5,000 miles time. Or worse than that, you can start leaking gas out through that valve seat, burn the valve seat and need a cylinder head rebuild. Now, we're talking £5,000 worth of repairs to a 10 grand bike. So I just worry. I honestly do, folks. I worry about loading up something that's going to lead the novice, with all their faith in us, which we're very honoured to receive, down the wrong path, or down a path they can't reverse out of. And sometimes even if that reversal is that they get stuck, they get confused, they get lost, They hand it over to a mechanic with shame and embarrassment, and that's not nice. And often the cost is greater because you have to get it recovered there. So I'd say, if you don't know how to do it, then hand it over, wouldn't you?
If you're really, really intent on doing that kind of thing, go out and buy yourself a 30-year-old Honda CG125 and play with it.
Learn how to do it that way.
Yeah.
It isn't a hard job. It really isn't. Doing shims and valve clearances, but if they're due, which is every 15,000 miles, then maybe do them, have a check. It's one of those things though, I would say, if you don't know how to do it, it's like when people come to me, they ask me questions, how do I weld this, how do I weld that? My only answer can be, if you have to answer that question, or if you have to ask that, you need to take it to an indexed welder or someone who knows how to weld or does it every day. Certainly if it's structural, purely because you wouldn't be asking if you knew how to do it, if you were competent. So it's one of those kind of catch-22 questions. So I know it's not the answer you want, mate, finally there, but I just feel that if I start telling people how to do their valve clearances, I've gone a step too far. We do housekeeping, that's it, isn't it? It's got to be about keeping your bike on the road, doing the stuff you don't want to be paying the dealer for. But I think shims and valve clearances...
Not every job you can do yourself.
No,
you
that's
can't
right.
save money on every job.
No, I think honestly there is a better part of valour, isn't it? To know when to hand it over to a professional. I don't know, grab yourself a jar under the bed, put pound coins in it every few days, save up, it's not the end of the world. And that feeling of satisfaction when you've had it done by a professional is warranted, isn't it?
Yeah.
You ride up the road and it goes wrong, it's down to him, whatever the repairs may be. But it won't be wrong because he's a professional. So that's simple as that. Trust your local mechanics, they need your money, they need your support. It's not all about doing it yourself. Right. Do you reckon that's it?
That's it, I think Dave needs tea.
Have you got tea?
Oh, it must be really hot in here, it's evaporated.
It's all that hot air coming out of your mouth, mate. And mine.
You've got cakes to eat.
We've got some more cakes, right, now that's it. Right there, dear. That's it for episode 2. 2? 3. We're getting out of here. Episode 3, we're teed out, mate. I need a walk. So thanks for tuning in and watching Delboy's Garage. We'll see you next week for episode 4. And we'll have some more questions and we'll have some more answers. Right, safe? And we'll have some more cake. And some more tea. See you next time.